One Miller County man will head back to court early next month to continue confronting charges that he killed the woman he was married to 34 years ago. Michael Letterman was really the only suspect ever considered in this case.
His arrest, which we first told you about in October, stunned the little girl who saw what happened to her mother and never thought her stepfather would ever be charged. Sincere Townsend bringing us more now about these developments that came together.
For most of her life, Ashley Myers has been consumed by the thought of justice for her mom, Billy Letterman. Now, thanks to the efforts of a new sheriff and 2 podcasters, she's closer to that goal than ever before.
That's one of the many frustrating things about this case.
Potentially unlikely conclusions made by investigators and the public back in 1991 were still hanging in the air 3 years ago when 2 podcasters took up the cold case of Billie Jean Letterman with Burden.
Suicide just seems so unlikely. Even the police said so at several points throughout the case.
For the then 6-year-old girl who's never wavered about who she saw shoot her mother, the thought that anyone believed her mom had a choice in what happened at their home near Texarkana has never made sense.
You know, my whole life, all I've ever truly wanted was to see him held accountable for what he did.
The him? Her stepfather, Michael Letterman. And on October 15, she got part of what she's longed for 34 years, learning of his arrest for first-degree murder. The news came in a call from her biological father.
So I call him and I was like, "Yes, Dad." And he said, "Ashley," he said, "they got him." He said, "He is in jail." And I said, "What?" And he said that he's in jail. And I said, "Well, what is the charge?" And he said, "First-degree murder of your mother." And I couldn't breathe. I couldn't see. I started shaking.
Racing through her mind, all she says she'd seen happen to her mom at Letterman's hand long before the night she lost her forever.
Slapping her, punching her in the face, punching her in the chest so that no one would see her bruises, spitting in her face, dragging her around by her hair, holding her down on the floor, pulling her hair out. Causing her to have a broken jaw where her teeth had to be wired together.
Serving Miller County for most of his career, Wayne Easley became sheriff right around the time Stephanie Harris and Karen Stewart released the first episodes of Burden. They believe that was a crucial turning point in the case.
Ashley, for years, and me also, after I met her, had been trying to get any evidence that was available. And they always said, there isn't anything. And as it turns out, there was a box in the office right next to the sheriff's desk. And then what they refer to as up the hill, there's like a storage facility. And they said that there was no way to find anything in there, but there was a box in there as well. So it turns out that the evidence, whatever they're planning to use for this trial, was available, just no one knew where it was or cared to look for it.
Evidence in hand, along with new state law forcing crime lab audits, produced ballistics information that made filing an arrest warrant possible.
So the sheriff, Wayne Easley, he comes from, I think he said, about 30 years with the Texarkana PD. He had investigated many cases, rapes, murders, you name it. And so I think he came in with a kind of a fresh attitude.
For anyone to legally move forward with the case against Letterman, it would require a fresh attitude about the long-held investigative theory that Billie Jean somehow shot herself in the middle of one of the many fights family members say Michael started with her over the years, the kind of fights other ex-partners told podcasters he had with them.
There was a struggle over a gun, which allegedly he introduced to the situation, and he will say that she was threatening to kill herself and that he went for the gun and it went off. Ashley says, and the medical examiner says, she was shot from between 6 and 9 inches away from her head in the back. And so that would be a very hard thing to do.
Yourself.
That's right. That's right.
Soon, it may finally be up to 12 jurors to decide where the truth lies with that and the rest of a long list of irregularities born the night Billie Jean died. Michael Letterman has always maintained his innocence, despite waiting for so long for someone to pay for taking her mother. Ashley says,
I would be totally okay with the plea deal. If he thinks that I'm the reason he's being put away, that's what scares me.
One of the other irregularities in this case is a state medical examiner who handled it. Billie Jean's was one of the last cases Fahmy Malik reviewed before resigning due to challenges over his questionable findings. For example, he made no note and took no pictures of fresh bruises on Billie Jean's neck, one seen and reported by medical staff who tried to save her. Back to you.